Hola, ¿qué tal, amigos? Lesson 243, one of my favorite lessons, something I created, 243, called the verb quotient. You know, they have an intelligence quotient, an IQ rating. Well, we can rate a person's spoken or written communication. Obviously, this is geared for teachers and it's geared for people that want to look and see if they have any sophistication in what they're saying. Okay, as we said before, the great bulk of communication is going to be basic level. It's going to be present tense, right? It's going to be present tense. That's what we live in the present tense. We remember the past. We look forward to the future. But present tense and the infinitive constructions are your basic level and they dominate communication on a daily basis. However, we do throw in intermediate Spanish on a daily basis. Not as much usage as the present tense and the infinitive, but certainly we have the past tenses, preterite and imperfect, future and conditional, and commands thrown in there a lot, and your participles, your ing and your ed, ando, yendo, and ado, ido. And then finally, the subjunctives, verb number 8 and verb number 9. Again, they are sitting on the top of the throne. Subjunctive is sprinkled in on a daily basis, AM, PM, morning, noon, night, and the early morning hours. You can't get away from the subjunctive. If you're a fluent speaker, right, they heard it for years and years and years, and they can spew out the subjunctive and they don't even know what they're saying. It's like we learned English. No one explained things to us. We just heard it, we imitated, and we created. However, if you want to speed up the process, all these little tricks and tips that we give you are going to help you get to where you want to go much more quickly. All right, here we go. Lesson 243, verb quotient. 1. Spanish has basic, intermediate, and advanced sentences. Point number 2. The level of sophistication that a person demonstrates by speaking or writing can be numerically rated. Point 3. Basic Spanish is comprised of sentences that exclusively have verbs conjugated in the present tense, verb number 3, and infinitives, verb number 0. Things like hablo español, me llamo Juan, voy a ir a la tienda, I'm going to go to the store. Tengo que trabajar, I have to work. That's basic. And basic, again, dominates communication. Let's go to 4. Intermediate Spanish is comprised of sentences that have verbs that are conjugated in the past preterite, verb number 4, past imperfect, verb number 5, future, verb number 6, conditional, verb number 7, past participles, the ado, ilo, verb number 2, present participles, the ando, yendo, verb number 1, and commands, verb number 3, and verb number 8. A lot of people take their Spanish beyond basic and they get into the intermediate, but for a lot of people it stops there. And they don't really do that great of a job in the intermediate, but they dabble in the intermediate. We want to get you through the intermediate and into the advanced, and we want to take you to the very top level of Spanish communication. Now, point 5, advanced Spanish is comprised of sentences that include verbs that are conjugated in the present subjunctive, verb number 8, and the past subjunctive, verb number 9. Point 6, the verb quotient is determined by giving a point value of 1 to basic Spanish verbs, 2 to intermediate Spanish verbs, and 3 to advanced Spanish verbs. Point number 7, to calculate the verb quotient rating, assign the appropriate point value for all verbs within a sentence. It's kind of like figuring out a batting average in softball or baseball. Add up the sum total of all the verbs within the sentence and then divide by the number of verbs in the sentence. So let's say you have 3 verbs and you have a given amount of points. You would divide the total amount of points by how many verbs you have, and that would give you your verb quotient. You now have the verb quotient for the sentence. This can be done in like fashion for entire paragraphs, essays, and compositions. Having taught advanced placement Spanish language for many, many years, I found it very helpful and extremely motivating for the students to learn the importance of inserting subjunctive in their communication, be it written or spoken. And so for practice, not all year long, but there was a time period where the students would write their essays or their paragraphs, and we would figure out the verb quotient, and we wanted to make sure that they got above 2 to reflect that they're using advanced Spanish. Okay? So, let's take the example. El maestro nos pidió que sacáramos los libros y leyéramos el primer capítulo. This is very advanced. The teacher asked us to take out our books and to read the first chapter. Pidió is past predicate, verb number 4. That'll get a value of 2 points. Sacáramos and leyéramos are subjunctive. They both will get each a value of 3 points. So if you add 2, 3, and 3, you come up with 8. 8 points divided by 3 verbs equals a 2.7 verb quotient. You are there. You're using the subjunctive, and you're showing that you have control of all verb tenses from basic all the way through verb number 9, the past subjunctive. Okay? And in the sentence starters, we did past subjunctive sentences. We will continue to do them throughout the entire Profesor Pablo Spanish Learning System program. Lots of opportunities to learn how to do subjunctive sentences. 8. The spectrum for the verb quotient runs from 1 to 3. The more you move above 2 towards 3, the more sophisticated and advanced your Spanish becomes. Any verb quotient above 2.0 rates as advanced. Intelligent tests measure intelligence quotient called IQ. Verb quotient rates the sophistication of a Spanish sentence and is abbreviated as VQ, verb quotient. A verb quotient of 1 is basic. Anything above 1 to 2.0 is intermediate, and anything 2.0 and above, or 2.1 and above, would be advanced. Point 9, a word of caution. Now this is really important. The basic and intermediate verb tenses, etc., are used far more than the subjunctives. But to be rated an advanced speaker, writer, the subjunctive must be sprinkled in. So understand the concept of verb quotient. It's just a way, if you're interested, of numerically quantifying the level of sophistication with which you speak or write. I'm telling you, it's right there. Flat out, we can tell you, you're writing or speaking at a basic level, you're writing or speaking at an intermediate level, or you're writing and speaking at an advanced level. Most of our conversation is dominated by basic present tense and infinitive constructions. Infinitive constructions and present tense dominate daily conversation because we're usually talking about now, today, what's happening now. The intermediate level, certainly the preterite imperfect, your commands, the future conditional, the ing and the ed, wow, those are huge as well. And they add on to the basic level. So basic, intermediate totally dominate the day. However, we do sprinkle in the subjunctive. The subjunctive happens very, very often. It's very common. It's natural. It's as normal as saying me llamo Juan as saying like quiero que vengas a mi casa. I want you to come to my house. Vengas being opposite vowel, present subjunctive. So there you go. You've never seen anything like this. I guarantee you've never seen anything like verb quotient. All you teachers out there, all you advanced students, hey, if you want to flat out know how sophisticated your Spanish is, check it out via the verb quotient. All right, that'll do it for lesson number 243. This is Profesor Pablo signing off. Cambio fuera.